Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, I'm bringing the OG. I'm bringing the 80s back to you guys. A couple people said, hey, how about testing some rackets from the 80s? And especially a 200G a la Johnny Mac back in the 80s. Well, guys, here we go. Dunlop 200Gs. I got the original one, and then I got the 200G in the limited edition color. So this one says graphite injection, the black. This one says graphene injection. So my guess from what I remember is this came out first, and this was a limited edition version of this. Both super small heads, both pretty heavy. These grips are, I think, original to these rackets. My buddy Pete Allen here, these belong to him, and he gave them to me years ago. So I kind of kept them. Hey Pete, hope you're doing well in the home. Hope you're watching me. But I'm putting your rackets in use right now. Okay, so I'm gonna try to hit with these. I got Coach Rob to try to hit with these. Coach Andrew and ITF Chris, we're all gonna see if we're good enough to try to hit with these. All right, hang tight. All right, guys, the OGs are done with the OG rackets right now. We had this Max 200Gs, right, today, and we definitely got a workout with these. It's a lot to tote around. I'm gonna have to go see how much they weigh and how much they balance at, but they feel a lot like wooden rackets. Sweet spot was like that big too, real small. But when you hit it right, it definitely took off. But you had to hit it right, you had to set up right, and you had to be prepared for the shot, or else you were punished with a bad shot in the net, or out, or another court. Right? What do you think, Coach Rob?
So when I picked these up and we started hitting, I made sure that I really exaggerated watching the ball, because I had a feeling if I didn't keep my head down when I hit it, I was gonna swing and miss, or shank a pot and miss it, or something. But yeah, these were fun. When you find the sweet spot, it really took off. This one hasn't been strung in forever. This is probably like an original string job, and it surprisingly still felt good when I hit it on the sweet spot.
Yeah, no, I felt on that one too. It was super loose. It's probably like 20 pounds or 10 pounds, if that. It's been like 35 years since that thing was strung. I strung this one a week ago with, I think it was Pro Hurricane Tour at 45 or 40 pounds, just to buy it some power. So I got, you know, the new strings with the OG racket, you know, because poly didn't really exist back then. So it definitely helped the racket a bit, right? Like give it a little more oomph that it needed. But hey, these are, if you want to play, you know, like old school, these would be good rackets for you. I mean, my Western grip didn't suit well with these rackets. I had to shorten up my swing, and like Rob said, I had to make sure that I covered that ball, you know, pretty squarely in order for it to take off. I mean, if I were to, you know, do my whole routine and motion, I probably was hitting all over the face, including the frame, including off the frame, straight up miss. But hey, you know, these were great. These actually were great. I mean, if you just have one of these lying around and these are all you got, go play with them. These still work. These, right? Go play with these.
Yep.
Alright guys, looks like we're missing a little ball speed out there, but other than that, I mean, what'd you think, Goo?
Felt nice, I'll give you that. It felt really nice. It's really hard to swing around with like this big extra, you know,
Mass.
Yeah, it's just a lot to swing around. But it actually feels really nice. Like when I make contact, I think the hugest thing is the sweet spot's big. Feels great. Volleys feels great. Serving is actually, it's a great serving racket if you want to learn how to serve and hit the ball fluidly. This is actually a good response racket because when you hit it on the sweet spots, it feels amazing. But racket technology has come a lot, has come more advanced. So if you try to use these guys, it's really hard to hit with these. You lose a ton of speed. It's a lot of control, but it's really hard to bring this around. Like a modern forehand is really hard to whip this around.
Coach, what if everybody had to use this racket? From junior all the way up to like pros. Like you put this in
Nowadays?
Nadal's hand, let's say. What would happen?
I wouldn't want to comment or would want to see anyone playing with this racket because it's just so heavy. You lose a ton of like racket head speed because of just the mass of from the throat of the racket until the grip. It's a lot of mass that you have to swing around, and it's not pleasant. It's definitely not pleasant to swing around. If like you want to create spin, this racket's definitely not meant to hit topspin with. It's meant to hit serve and volley or hitting a continental grip.
Yeah, continental on all strokes, right?
Yeah,
That's what this racket was meant for back in the day.
But if you try to hit spin with this, it is almost impossible to hit spin with this, like any topspin.
Would you say this evens out the field a little more?
Yeah,
right?
It
It
could.
evens out.
Like,
This
it-
is
like what people like say about customizations of rackets, it's true. It makes a big difference. It's like this is, I would not advise anyone to play with these anymore. It's a great antique.
Chris, what'd you think?
Yeah, so definitely in the modern game, it's a lot harder to swing with this racket. The it's heavier, I think, and I don't know. I think it's heavier in the neck. It felt like when I was swinging, so really difficult to hit a modern form. But I can see how the pros back in the day using continental grips, you know, serving and volleying. It felt nice volleying too as well when you hit it right in the sweet spot. Like I said, the old school game of serve and volley, that's really where I feel like this racket comes to shine with. Other than that, if what you guys were saying earlier, if junior players started off with this, I would see them having a lot of arm problems, a lot of maybe injuries. It is a heavier racket to play with, but it's good to learn how to serve with, that's for sure, and volley because it's got a smaller head. But I liked it. It's fun.
So the sweet spot is the sweet spot no matter what racket you're using, right? As something as small as this or something as big as a Bubba, right? You still got to hit the sweet spot to make it do the right thing. So, I mean, I think the guys who used this back in the day, like I started with one of these, and I mean, it was a different game back then, right? The ball was slower, right? You served and volley, like Chris said, and you kind of won within, what do you say, 2, 3, maybe 4 shots max. You didn't really, whoever served basically come in, put it away, right? It wasn't like a physical 20-ball rally, right? Your arm would fall off if you had to go 20-ball rally each time, right? No one can do that. All right, so, but yeah, somebody requested this video, so I happen to have these rackets, so I wanted these guys to try them, and they did a good job with it. They did a very good job with it. We're gonna go back to the store, and I'm gonna wait and balance these for you guys and see where actually they lie compared to today's game. All right, hold tight. Okay, 200Gs, Johnny Mac, bringing the 80s back. How did these play? They were hard to play with. They felt like 2x4s in our hands. It was definitely not meant for somebody with my grip, which is like a Western. Even Coach Goo with the semi-Western kind of flattened it out to Continental for himself to try to hit with it. So I think Coach Rob kind of had the easiest time with it because he's just Continental all the way through. But, you know, if you miss with this racket, you pretty much missed. You knew when you missed. But it's like what I say all the time. Hey, the sweet spot's the sweet spot. Either way, you're going to hit the center, and you'll know when you hit the center. But with these, you know, you pretty much got to hit the center. There's only one center here. It ain't bigger. All right? But we definitely had a lot of fun with these. These are fun rackets. It's not going to be easy power like what we're all used to. It's definitely going to be a little more challenging. If you swing a little fast and through and with a lot of top, you're going to have to keep your eye on the ball a little longer. But like I said, it was super fun. All right, guys, so we're going to weight balance and swing weight these to see why it's so hard. Hang tight. All right, let's check the balance on the first one. The Johnny Mac signature. $320, guys. $320. Yeah, $320. Let's take a look at this one. Whoa, look at that. It's almost $332. Dang, that's way off. I guess they didn't really care about quality control ever on rackets, is what I'm looking at here. It might have been even worse back then. Let's go to the scale. All right, at the scale. Got the first one here. $369.5. That's a big number, guys. That's a real big number. That's kind of Andy Murray number there. Like Andy Murray's racket. $361. Woo! That might be the biggest number I've seen on these rackets. I mean, we're talking Andre Agassi here. We got the other one, which I'm going to deem the 200G white. So this one's 342. That's a little interesting. Did they change this racket? $349. Maybe they changed this racket. Interesting. All right, let's go analyze. Guys, I wanted to show you one quick thing that is no longer done anymore in the racket industry. Made in England. Both of these are made in England. Yeah, see? Made in England too. So that's brings back memories. So now that I've weighed them, I kind of can see, I mean, they both weigh a ton, but this definitely weighs a ton more, maybe a ton and a half. I'm not sure why. They look like the same racket to me. I can chalk it up to bad quality control. I mean, they look like the same racket to me, unless somebody out there can shed some light on this for me. But looking at the Johnny Mac Signature Edition, Max Series it's called, with vibration control, was definitely heavier. So maybe his Signature Edition is heavier, a lot heavier, 369, 361, 320. Those are all big numbers. Not many people even today have this kind of number. I mean, like, we're talking Andy Murray's racket is probably a little more than these, but it's Andy Murray's racket, kind of in that realm. Well, Andy is British, or is he Scot? Well, he could be British, depends on if he wins. But yeah, that's where we're at with the Max 200G John McEnroe edition. Now the white one, the white limited edition, was definitely lighter. Balance was definitely head heavier though. So, but I mean, that's like over 20 grams lighter here, right? Swing weight was definitely lighter, but the balance was head heavier. So that was a little interesting. So as you guys know, I like heavy rackets, right? So that's kind of above my realm, but I mean, you really had to change your swing with these rackets. You really had to, I mean, you kind of had to just kind of sweep through with a continental grip, or as ITF Chris was saying, like, the shot, you can't really hold long rallies with these. When these were created, it was basically meant for like a John McEnroe, right? We serve, we approach, we volley maybe one, or we volley maybe two. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 points done, right? We're not going to be like swinging these rackets for 20 ball rallies like Nadal, and your arm would probably fall off. But the ball speed would be less. So one of you can make it up to the net and put it away. So that's where the era of these rackets are from, is pretty much serve and volley. So that makes total sense. You know, these, I mean, it was fun to bring back, you know, this type of racket from the 80s. We got the, you know, old school rackets. I haven't picked one of these up in literally 25 years. So again, thanks to my buddy Pete Allen for these. Hope you enjoyed that, okay? I hope you enjoyed that. I'll do more of these if you guys want me to. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.